Guys, so sorry. I don't know what's going on, but unfortunately, the live stopped. There was a problem with the connection, and yeah, I was noticing that I was talking for nothing. I mean, I was keep talking, but the live streaming already was interrupted. So I was talking to myself like this. I feel so sorry. Sorry. In this case, I have to divide this live streaming into two parts, as you noticed. So sorry for that, really. If you can't join me anymore, I feel so sorry for that. But I hope that you can join me once again because, oh no, it stopped when I was talking about the clown and Levi. But right now, I have to get back with what I was saying before. So sorry. Oh, I was talking for nothing. I mean, okay, let's go back with what I was saying. After the clown scene, uh, you see that Mikasa is trying to let Eren get in touch with the ice cream. She has this beautiful smile on her face, and she is um, asking Eren if he wants to taste it. First of all, Eren is saying that he has already seen it in Grisha's memories, and that's why what I was telling you before regarding verifying what Grisha was sending him as memories from the past was true or not. This is a confirmation. I mean, Eren was trying to understand, to verify if everything that he was seeing is correct or not. But then I really like the Mikasa because Mikasa is always trying to find a way to let Eren join with all they are experiencing. I think Mikasa, with that great smile that she has, is clearly um, emphasizing how she really likes small and simple things. The simplest, the best. And that's why I think Mikasa is the representation of the beauty of the world of Shingeki because she really doesn't need um, sophisticated things to be happy. I think a Mikasa can find a happiness with the simple things. And that's what happened actually, because Mikasa has always lived a simple life. Even before joining the Chosahedan, she definitely was living a happy life, a happy and simple life with her parents. But then, even with the Jaegers, when she was joining this other family, they were all living peacefully, they were all living in the simplest way. So even when she's in front of a ice cream, I can understand the beauty that she has in front of simple things. That's what she has always wanted to live, especially with Eren. So that's the peak of her happiness in that moment, because she has Eren in front of him, in front of her. She's eating the ice cream. She is experiencing something new, and that's everything she has always wanted. I really like Mikasa also for this. I think that she is a great character because you understand that now more than ever, Mikasa really needs feelings, and feelings are the engine of everything. If you really want, feelings can be the engine of everything. And wow. I mean, even the fact that she's always trying to let Eren join her with everything that is surrounding them. She is not giving up to let Eren be happy. She really wants to make Eren happy. And even if you know that she already knows that something is wrong, she is always trying to help Eren, to put a smile on his face, to make him happy again. to try her best to respect his feelings, because yeah, even if Mikasa understands that there is something wrong, I think that she's paying a great respect to Eren by not even asking what's going on, by just saying, okay, there is something wrong here. But instead of keeping asking him things that, yeah, look, even Eren will never tell her, because they have never said to Eren, or they have never asked Eren questions, because they knew that probably Eren would have never told them. Because we have so many examples of these. I mean, Eren, even in season 3, part 2, was getting in touch with some info by kissing Historia's hand. And we know that later in season 4, part 1, even Levi is arguing with Eren because while he's trying to protect the Historia and reveal what he discovered, Levi was saying, why you didn't tell us earlier about this? So as you can see, they know that Eren doesn't want to say everything immediately. So the fact that Mikasa is waiting for an explanation and she doesn't keep asking because she knows that maybe Eren doesn't want to reveal or anything, that's pretty respectful. That's a really, I mean, that's where love is. Sometimes we know that something is wrong, but we don't want it to be, I mean, we don't want to push the other person too much to ask for an answer. Um, so I think that Mikasa is anyway trying to make him happy, to make him smile, to let him experiencing things, no matter if she understands that Eren is changed a little bit. She doesn't know why, but instead of criticizing him, instead of pushing him to tell her something, she prefers to making him happy with the small and simple things. And I think that that's why Eren loves her. That's a great quality of Mikasa. Um, she is not maybe good to understand what's wrong, what's happening, but she's always using a way, her personal way, to make other people happy somehow. Mm, and in fact, later we are going back to the Mikasa of the present, in which she's saying nobody could have ever imagined something that was happening, or nobody wanted to imagine this, wanted to believe this. I agree with this statement because Mikasa, um, M- M- Mikasa loves Eren. So it's obvious that when feelings are involved, it's hard to be rational. It's hard to accept that a person you love is changed. And that's why I think that even Mikasa, as I was telling you, knew that something was wrong, but at the same time didn't want to accept that. Because after all they struggled, now that she had a peaceful moment with the person she loves, she said, okay, maybe I'm just imagining this. Come on, it's not happening. It's just my imagination, or I don't want this to happen right now. I just wanted to detach myself with that thought. Nobody, when she says, and nobody wanted to believe so, yeah, because they always started together. So it was like a sin to believe the contrary right now. I mean, it was like a sin to doubt about Eren, because they have always imagined Eren in a certain way. But as I was telling you many times, just because Eren is not crying for Sasha's death, just because Eren is not crying because um, he is saying, Mikasa, I have always hated you. That doesn't mean that Eren is not crying inside. I think Eren is shouting inside instead. But it's a way for him to protect himself from the feelings he's feeling too. And sometimes we all do so. I mean, in order to avoid us from suffering more, we compress these feelings, we mute them, and that's what's happening even here. In this case, Mikasa wanted to mute her feelings or her sensation about Eren's change because it was better to avoid it. It was something unbelievable. It was something that couldn't be accepted. And not because she was idealizing Eren, but because she couldn't believe that there was a way to change inside of him. After all they struggled, he was changing like this. Unbelievable. That's maybe what Mikasa was feeling. Going ahead, Levi is um, accusing a boy, not accusing, he's just saying, don't steal the wallet, don't take the wallet of other people. That's it. But from that statement, you see that everything is starting. I mean, the loop of hate, the loop of accusations is there. And once again, this is a great paradox, guys, because Sasha, who is a devil from paradise, she is defended by Marlians. Wow. I mean, if they knew that Sasha was a Yumiro no Tami, of course they would have never defended her. They would have found another excuse to accuse her. Of course, she's the devil of a paradise. How she's here, blah, blah, blah. But as you can see, Marlians, or let's say human beings in general, okay, they hate just when they know. If they don't know, they don't hate. I mean, if there is not the prejudice in front of their eyes, they don't hate. If there is not a tag in front of their eyes, they don't hate. So that's the problem, not just of the Shingeki no Kyojin's world, but even in this world. If we create tags, or if we create labels that are influencing our thoughts, our mind, that's the end of everything. If we can get rid of these attacks, these prejudices, these labels, things are fine because we are all the same. On the surface, we are all the same. Then, when you start digging more and more and more, and if you go deep inside, we can all find our monsters, our secrets, our bad experiences, everything. But on the surface, we are all the same. That's why I really liked this story, but I really liked this episode because it makes you understand that if Marlians don't know anything about Sasha, she's a girl, she's a woman. She's there eating the ice cream, but she lost the wallet because somebody stole it from her. But if she said, sorry, I am a Yumiro no Tami, but I lost my wallet because of that boy. No, no, you are a Yumiro no Tami. No, no, okay. No, I don't want to even listen. No, 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 blah, 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 blah. Because she's a Yumiro no Tami. So that statement, I am a Yumiro no Tami, makes a difference. But if that statement is gone and it's not there, there's no difference. So as you can see, we human beings are the victims of ourselves because we are creating problems by ourselves. By creating these labels, we are already condemning others for nothing. Because at the end of the day, if these other people in front of us are not telling us anything, where do they come from, what did they do, etc., 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 we are having in front of our eyes other two eyes, one nose, one mouth, hair, a face. It's the same. So what's happening now with Sasha and the wallet is hilarious, but at the same time is pretty sad because you understand that human beings are creating in their minds these concepts of people, this sort of discrimination based on nothing, based just on a tag, based just on a geographical identity. Crazy. I mean, think about it. But these boy is also criticized to be a Yumiro no Tami, to be a migrant coming from somewhere, and he has a different skin tone, and that's why, no, no, no. And Marlians, they are racists, especially in this episode. Yes, you see that they are afraid to socialize with the different. They are afraid to step next to one of these people we don't know. I mean, they are afraid to live. They are afraid to explore the different. While the scouts, I mean, while the devils in paradise, uh, they really want to explore. They want to get in touch with the different. The more they go out, the more they are enthusiasts. Of course, Eren is not enthusiast for other reasons. Yes, we know that. But he is a different case because he saw frames from the future and whatsoever. But all the other Chosaheda member, they are totally the opposite from what the Marlians are. They are willing to discover the different. While Marlians, as soon as someone is different and is not respecting the usual standards, oh no, there's a problem here. So, as you can see, even this boy is, of course, innocent because he's a boy and is criticized, he is accused, and whatsoever. He's not innocent, of course, because he stole the wallet. But these are something else. These are called morals, and this is something else. But at the end of the day, that's just a boy. But they are talking about this boy as if he killed 10 people in a row. I mean, he is poor, first of all, because of course if he is stealing, it's because he is poor. He is discriminated because of his skin tone, but also because he's a migrant. I mean, he's not a pure Marlian, so it's already over. And then another thing that I noticed even during the reaction, and that's why I was saying this, is because I saw this boy who is surrounded by all these people and he is accused. It was like Ymir, just for this, I compared the two scenes. But once again, we find in the middle a boy or a girl, I mean, someone really young that, thanks to the actions of the adults, then he or she can turn into someone vengeful. And that's why this is the problem, because you adults are influencing the next generations, and by these actions, you are creating revengeful thoughts in the minds of this young boy or young girl, and the story is repeating because of this, because of the actions of the previous generation, as we have always said. So I think that sometimes adults feel in a sort of a position of a superiority because they are adults and they can criticize kids. They can tell them what's good and what's wrong, but who's saying what's good and what's wrong? I mean, even Kruger was saying this. Everyone can turn into a devil or an angel. Everyone can be good and bad. There is not an absolute truth. It depends how you see things. I mean, it depends on your perspective. So everyone can be right, everyone can be wrong. So these Marlians who are saying later, especially when Sasha is stopping them, they are saying, "Oh no, we have to punish him because it's an example." No, I mean, who's saying that you have to punish this kid? Who's saying that you have to punish this kid in this way? Just because you think that's good for you, that's not good for me. So every time the perspective matters. Um, but I really liked that Sasha interrupted all these accusations, all these way to think how to punish this boy. Because Sasha is a clear example that what Sasha's dad was teaching her is correct. I mean, is effective already. Sasha didn't want to include the boys in these sort of things, didn't want to include the kids on all this stuff based on what adults were creating. And it's the leitmotif that we already know. That means we have to prevent the kids to be inside of the forest. I mean, to include them in the forest. Otherwise, there is the chance that even these new generations are repeating the same mistakes. So, as you can see, Sasha at that time didn't even want to kill Gabi when there was the chance. So I don't think that Sasha would agree with what Eren is doing, of course, but it makes you understand that Sasha was already influenced by her father's teachings, and that's really great. I mean, I really like Sasha in this season for this reason. But as you can see, in this world of Shingeki no Kyojin, if you don't know, you are kind with the other. Examples. Eren with Falco. Falco didn't know that Eren was Eren Yeager, and he helped him. Reiner and Bertold, they were not telling them we are the Colossal and we are the Armored, and they were the best friends. Who else? Kaya didn't know that Gabi was Gabi, but she was just Mia. Fine, let's help her, let's become my sister, etc. If people don't put tags, geographical tags, fine. I mean, everyone is accepted. So that's the core, that's the problem of everything. They don't even have armbands, they don't have everything. They are on the surface, they are all the same. Once you dig, once you go deep inside, yes, you can discover that people made bad things. But at the end of the day, who didn't make a mistake in life? It can be a big mistake or a small mistake, but everyone made mistakes here. So there can't be a position of a person who's condemning others as if some of them they are saint and all the others are just demons. No, even Marlians made mistakes, so they can't put themselves on a position to judge people from a superiority. I mean, from a superior level, as much as Eldians can't do. Eldians, Yumi no Tami can't do the same. So that's the problem. People who are creating superiority based on just on their perspective. That's the problem. And then here the live interrupted because sorry, let me go on. Fortunately and finally, then yes, this boy was accused to be the Yumiro no Tami, and that's the main prejudice ever over there. Because you see that everything that is different for Marlians is a problem. So they are even taking blood tests as if these Yumi no Tami are affected by the plug. For example, you can't even touch them, you can't even sleep next to them. It's a nightmare. Oh my god. I mean, you understand that because of these tags, labels, standard thoughts, and whatsoever, the human being is creating its own grave. I mean, we are victims of ourselves. We are creating the problem and we are also living inside of the problem. Um, and they are saying, listen, they are accusing a boy who is not a Yumiro no Tami, but they believe he is a Yumiro no Tami. They say that they are even making blood tests because they don't want even to get in touch with them. They can't, they lost their sleep. They slept. I mean, they can't sleep anymore because, oh, if we are getting in touch with a Yumiro no Tami, we don't know. Oh, that's a damage for us, blah, blah, blah. But now they are defending a Yumiro no Tami without even knowing it. They are surrounded now by Yumiro no Tami without even knowing it. And they are surviving. They are still breathing. They are not affected by any sort of a problem or virus whatsoever. They are still alive. Wow, that's a miracle. But it's not a miracle because it's just a prejudice. It's just something not materialistic that it's creating in their mind an ideology that is perpetrated generations after generations, of course. And it's becoming a milestone because the more the generations are coming, the more this stone is becoming bigger, and it's impossible to be moved. But it all depends on us. It depends on if we can realize that these are just stupid prejudices. Then Levi, who is a Yumi Rotami, who is a devil of a paradise, is rescuing him. Wow. And Levi is not even asking him, where do you come from? What's your name? Are you a migrant whatsoever? No, he is just rescuing him because Levi knows what does it feel to be condemned forever, to be discriminated, to be inferior because he was living underground, to be poor. I mean, Levi knows what does it feel to be like him, to be like this boy. And he's saving him. So as you can see, empathy, or I mean, if you have always experienced the same things in your life, you can start feeling empathy. But Marlians can't feel empathy because they have never been confined for a thousand, sorry, for 100 years. They have never been confined. Yes, they were fighting against aliens, they were losing, they were under the alien empire, yes, but I think they have never experienced. I mean, I don't think that the alien empire was making blood tests on Marlians sincerely, even if they could, but this is on another level. I mean, to be blind and think that everyone is your enemy just because it's different from you, to think as if they are infected by something just because if they are getting in touch with you, the doubt that is starting and is cultivating in your mind, this conscience that is playing the role instead of you, this mind that is torturing yourself because of attacks. Ridiculous. But then, in order to save this boy, they are also risking their mission because you see them running. I mean, Levi is finding this excuse. I mean, he's saying, no, I was just saying that you shouldn't take the wallet of other people, and that's it. And then Hanji is trying to save the situation too by saying that this boy was the younger brother of Sasha, and Marlians are not believing this, and that's why they are running away. But look, even their mission was in danger, but the life of other people is more important than the mission, also because you needed to know that Levi always wanted to rescue his comrades. Levi always wanted to save other people, even when there was not other choice rather than killing them. But when you find a kid, you can't give the priority to the mission. So I really admired that Levi chose to protect this kid and to risk even the mission. It doesn't matter. So who's the demon in this situation? Who's the real demon? Marlians, they are accusing Paradis to be the devils, to be the demons of that area. But in this case, the demons were saving this boy. So, as you can see, who's the real demon? But then, after they rescued him, Eren is looking at this boy with that petrified feeling. I mean, you don't see Eren's face completely, but you feel that he is petrified somehow, and he keeps looking at him. And you needed to know that before disappearing, the boy was smiling, and in his way, he was saying thank you by stealing Levi's wallet. But Eren's expression tells you everything because By being petrified, does he realize that he will kill him in the future? I mean, did Eren see that he killed that boy somehow in the future, and that's why he knows automatically that that smile on the face of the boy will be erased by him killing him. Of course, if Eren saw this frame in which he thinks that he is killing this boy, of course, the reaction of Eren can't be, ah, who cares? And even from these things, you understand that one thing is the Eren who changed because of the events that he saw from the past, from the future, etc., etc. And one thing is the Eren who didn't change because of his feelings. These are two different things. Eren changed, but also didn't change. So Mikasa, you don't have to worry. I mean, everything you experienced with Eren until the moment he kissed Historia's hand, those moments were real. The Eren you were next to, it was not an idea that you created in your mind. It was not a way to idealize him. It really happened. Eren was a kind boy. Eren always wanted to protect his friends. Eren really treasured you. I mean, everything you have lived, Mikasa, with him, it was right. It was happening for real. It was not just your imagination. But after the moment he changed, he can't come back as before, exactly as before. Things can change people. People can't stay the same based on the events they are experiencing. But that doesn't mean that everything that happened until that moment is erased. And that doesn't mean that Eren is lost completely. No, I still believe that the part of Eren's feelings is already and still inside of Eren. If you ask Eren, Eren, do you care about Mikasa as much as Zeke did it later? Of course, he says no, but that doesn't mean that it's true. It's just a way to compress his feelings, to push them away, because if he cares too much about his feelings, his mission is gone. So he has to decide, unfortunately. And of course, he decides for the wrong choice, but that doesn't mean that he is not shouting inside by making this choice. I think that he is crying hard because of the choice he made. So once again, the appearance against the within, I mean, against the inner core of yourself, is something totally different. So at this point, I imagined that he saw that he killed that boy. Can you imagine now? You are looking at this boy who's smiling, and you know that you will be the cause of the end of that smile. Pretty heavy. How can you not be traumatized by this, sincerely? But once again, I wanted to tell you this. Eren saw some things from the future, not everything. And later I'm going to explain you what I mean. You keep these underlined, okay? Because later I'm going to explain you my vision on these things. And then the Kiyomi, then we skip, I mean, we go ahead because Kiyomi is talking to them, is saying that it's pretty difficult, that they can find a compromise, that they can find an agreement with the rest, with Marlians in this case, and then with the rest of the world. Um, in this moment, we needed to know that we are in the flashback. I mean, we are going back in time. I don't understand the Kiyomi because, I mean, yes, I understand her, but why is she so sure that they can't make a difference? It's like as if she is happy that they can't make a difference. Do you understand? It's like as if she is saying all these things because of her personal interest. Because every time she is even confronting Hanji, because Hanji still has a great hope to make it happen, because they are ready to let people understand that they are different, that they are not the devils in paradise. I mean, Hanji has a great determined way to still feel hope for this. But every time Hanji is expressing this hope to Kiyomi, Kiyomi, every time she finds a way to say, no, I don't think it will be easy. Yeah? No, I don't think so. Are you sure about this? I mean, it's like as if she wants to mm, deceive this plan they have, and even if she was inviting them over there for this, we know that Kiyomi had her personal interests at the beginning. I mean, in part one, we saw this, but it's like as if she wants to steal even the last hope Hanji has, even after she explained it. Was she agreeing with the Zeke too? I mean, that's why she wanted every time to push them down when they were having hope to solve things in a different way. Also, because we know that Zeke, if they found an agreement, her his plan was gone. I mean, if the devils in paradise could have found an agreement with the Marlians and all the rest of the world, Zeke's plan and Zeke's existence, Zeke's meaning of life was gone automatically. So that's why I'm saying it was a Kiyomi promised something by Zeke. Was she tricked by Zeke too? Was she commanded maybe to push them down in the case that there was a simple or a small hope to solve things? Also, because we understood from this episode that if they didn't tell them, look, we are from paradise, everything was still, everything was normal. So I don't know if they could have found a way sincerely rather than the rumbling. I don't know. But you need to know that sometimes it was said even in this story, until you don't try, you will never know. So Eren found just the easiest path. But is this worth it? Later, I'm going to tell you even this why I think that it's not worth it. Um, so, by connecting with what I was telling you before, these geographical identity that is always creating a problem, it's always creating hatred, discrimination whatsoever, it's already the sunrise of humanity, because we are creating the problems by ourselves, and that's why we are destined to be extinguished somehow. um I really, yes, I open a tiny bracket regarding Hanji. I really like her determination, because Erwin chose her because of this, because her will to keep investigating, keep exploring, keep being determined. I think Erwin made the best choice, sincerely, regarding this. And I think that Hanji was a great promoter of a sane change. I mean, a change that was propositive, that was not going against each other, to find this compromise that was really simple to find, sincerely. But sometimes people, when they are blind because of, or just because these people were born with these ideals, it's really hard to take away the roots when you're just at the trunk of the tree. When you are the roots, it's easy to go out. But when you are the trunk of the tree and inside there are the roots, it's really heavy. It's really difficult to take away everything. So the roots are the source of everything, but these roots can be reconducted to this creature, to this thing that we saw inside that tree when Ymir was getting in touch with it. Um, so it's really hard, but it's also good to never stop trying. I remember Nicolo's words, and I totally agree with them. You should stop. You should never stop trying. You should go ahead and try. But then mm, we see that Eren is gone. I mean, while Kiyomi and all the others are talking, Eren is gone because he thinks that it's already written everything, that he saw everything from the future, and he knows that this is not going to happen. But you see that in the next scene, he is crying. Okay, now I open a huge bracket. I already anticipated I open a huge bracket, so you follow me, please. He is crying. First option. Is he crying because he doesn't know how to solve things? I mean, he knows that what Hanji wants is impossible to fulfill, or maybe, look, now I'm thinking something that it's not written here, okay? That it just came into my mind right now. Um, do you remember the scene of season 4, part 1, when Eren is shooting with the gun, the shotgun, and immediately after, you see this flashback that Sasha is killed in the same way. What if Eren went away in the moment Hanji was talking, and then he is crying because in that moment in which he saw Hanji's determination, Hanji's happiness, Hanji's will to find a solution, he already saw that Hanji is going to die. It could be because we know that Eren can see things from the future already. So maybe he is crying, first of all, because he cares about Hanji, to be honest. Second of all, because he is so sad that another member, uh, no, Sasha is still not dead. But maybe in that moment, he saw that maybe Sasha was dead, maybe Hanji is dead, someone is dying. Okay, and that's why he is crying, because this enthusiasm that they have is gone immediately, and he can't handle it. I mean, he can't stay over there next to all the others while he is seeing something from his for example, that is creating pain later. Okay, so this could be an option that came into my mind right now. Sorry, I have these, sometimes I have these epiphany. Me too. Maybe I'm connected with Eren. Yes, tell me the truth. Okay. I don't know if it's happening. I was just guessing, because as soon as Hanji was talking like this, he was going out. I mean, they realized that Eren was not there anymore. So, and then he is crying. So, this, by crying, this makes you understand that Eren, the Eren we know regarding feelings, is not gone. Second option, Eren cries because he saw that baby, so there's not that baby, that boy over there once again, and that boy is running away from him. So, did he say something to him? Did he see something regarding him? Once again, did he see that he killed him? And that's why he is crying? Because he feels guilty because of this? Okay. Then, third option. He is crying. Listen, sometimes I'm thinking so very strange things, but okay. He is crying because he knows that, right, he saw it from the future in this case. He saw that Mikasa has to come next to him, and he is going to ask her regarding her feelings because he wants to verify if what he saw from the future is actually happening. I mean, he needs to see that, he needs to hear that answer in particular, because by hearing that answer, if that's the same answer that he is seeing from the future, automatically it's a proof that everything that he is seeing from the future is real. Could be. It could be. But if Mikasa will answer like that, he is also crying because he will understand that he is going to make her suffering because he will die, because maybe he has to be killed by her. Tragedy of the tragedy. So he is crying also because of this, because because in the future it's happening something antithetical with what he wants, because he wants to make them happy. But if she's answering like this, it's going to be a mess. It's going to create a problem. It's going to create this suffering on the person he really loves the most. So it's even worse. Plus, if Mikasa is answering like this is another option. If Mikasa is answering like this, he realizes that everything that is coming from the future is correct, and it's also an evidence for Eren that he has to keep moving forward like this, because this has to happen like this. If everything is written and Mikasa is replying like this, in Eren's mind, he can think, oh, okay, so what I'm doing is correct. I mean, what I'm doing is the thing that had to be done. So it's better if I keep going ahead like this. But I open a bracket once again. Eren didn't see everything from the future. Maybe Eren thinks that by doing what he's doing, even if we are still in the flashback, okay? I mean, we are still going back in time 4 years before, but maybe Eren at that time believed that if he could go ahead like this, maybe, look, maybe he saw a fragment from the future in which he sees Mikasa happy, okay? Just saying. Maybe he saw Mikasa's smiling, Mikasa smile with a baby, maybe. He thought, oh, look, that's my baby. So it means that if I go ahead like this, maybe we can reach that frame. So Mikasa will be happy. I will have a baby. I will be happy. What if before dying, Eren realizes that that frame maybe he saw from the future of happiness, Mikasa happy with a baby whatsoever, it's not his baby. It's with another person. Mikasa is smiling, but he's gone. So what if he fought all this throughout all this time to create his imaginary destiny that it's not real? What if Eren is creating in his mind like Grisha did, because he was trusting the frames from some frames of the future, and then when he will reach the moment that he is killed by Mikasa, he says, no, wait a second, but this was not planned like this. I saw Mikasa smiling with a baby. I thought that he was my baby, that I could survive, that everything could have been happy. That what's going on? I don't want to die because I was believing that that was the end. Like Grisha. Maybe, like Grisha, he is living a disillusion in the worst moment, sincerely. Because as much as Grisha killed the Reis family, and later he said, Eren, are you satisfied now? I wanted to see Eren who's talking to. I mean, as much as Grisha said, Eren, are you satisfied? What if even Eren was tricked by somebody else coming from the future, telling him to do so as Eren? Maybe there will be another Eren called Eren who's tricking Eren Yeager. Eren Yeager tricked Grisha Yeager. What if there is somebody else after tricking him? If Eren is saying, I'm going to move forward while I'm living, but also after death, Shino Atomo. Grisha too, he is dead, but he could show Eren some things thanks to the memories of the future. I mean, Grisha was involved once again in that episode, so he could still play a role. That's why I'm saying who's coming after Eren? Maybe Eren will be reincarnated into somebody else. Maybe. Maybe there will be another Eren. Maybe. That's why I'm saying, guys, I don't believe Eren is gone. I mean, that Eren is gone. Eren is still maybe believing that what he is doing is the correct thing based on the trick, the frames that he saw from the future. Because even Grisha said, Eren, why don't you show me this? Why don't you show me that? Maybe somebody else from the future is not showing Eren Yeager the same. So that's why I'm saying he is crying for many reasons, maybe. But everything can be possible. But definitely, I think Eren, when he's asking Mikasa the confirmation of what she feels, it's also a confirmation from him, for himself, to see if what he saw from the future is correct or not. Let's pretend, okay? Just saying, I don't know. Eren saw that Mikasa is smiling in the future. They have a baby, but he is not there, okay? He just sees Mikasa with a baby. That's it, okay? And he thinks, okay, wait a second. Now, there are two options now. This is the first one. Now, I want to ask Mikasa if she really loves me, if she really thinks that I am her family. Because if she says yes, okay, oh, let's go ahead like this because later we will have a baby and I will not die. I will stay next to her. She keeps smiling. It means she's happy, right? If she says no, maybe what I saw from the future is something else. So who's that baby? Second option. From the future, I saw that now I have to ask Mikasa what I think about what she thinks about me. If she says that I am her family, everything that I see from the future is correct. Maybe later I will have a baby from Mikasa. We will all stay together. I will survive. We will all be happy. That's it. If it's yes, if she's responding this, okay. If she's saying no, it means that everything that I see from the future is wrong. I'm making something wrong, so maybe I don't have to trust these memories from the future. Everything can be possible, but anyway, let's go ahead. But if Eren is like Grisha, he is choosing some things based on frames. How can he be sure that everything that he's doing is correct? He can't. In my opinion, he can't. He really, really can't. But he keeps moving forward because that's his nature. So, and then there is the full moon. It's night. I mean, You know that during the full moon, our feelings, we are made of water, okay? So our feelings are conveyed the most. They are like a stream, sincerely. During the full moon, we are all a little bit different, let's say. Yeah. We are influenced by the moon, definitely. But then it's night, and night is the most important moment, even for poets, for novelists, I mean, for literature people. It's the moment in which you can convey your real feelings. It's where you are discovering yourself more than usual. During the day you are busy, but when it's night you think more, you feel more. So I really liked this choice of the night, and I don't think it's just a coincidence. I think that in that moment Eren could really be himself, and Mikasa could be really herself. So this expression of a feelings during night, at night, it's meaningful because it's the moment in which they are themselves, without masks, without fake identities, without impositions that they are made by themselves. Mikasa that is climbing a hill, that means, oh, it will be hard. From now on, it will be hard. It's like when you really aim for a goal, and then when you reach the top of the hill, you can grab it. The mountain, even in Japanese culture, is always seen as the struggle. The more you struggle, the more you reach the top, and the more you feel satisfied. And then when Eren is saying, because Mikasa is asking him, what happened? Nothing yet. He saw. He saw that he killed that boy. He saw it. And then he's saying these migrants survived from war. They have lost everything. They have lost their freedom. And they don't have a place to live anymore. Yeah, they are the same as them, sincerely, because they were confined in a certain area. They had to survive from the attacks from the outside world. I mean, they are the same, even if they are the same, and that's why even he's crying. Look, you need to remember that in episode one, Eren is crying. The same tear. And there is Mikasa in front of him. Perfect. I mean, it's like as if he dreamt that he's going to be killed by his lover. Wow, what a nightmare. But this is not a nightmare. I think this is going to happen. Anyway, um, even if they have a same destiny, I mean, these migrants with the paradise people, they are the same. Eren is going to kill them. So he's crying also because of this at this point. Yeah, it could be, definitely. And that makes you understand that right now in that scene, Eren is having an emotional contrast that is unbelievable, because he maybe was saying hi to that baby, and the baby went, the boy went down the hill once again. But at the same time, he's crying because he's going to take away that smile he has on his face, but he is still there at that time, and he's already thinking about what's coming in the future. So the contrast, okay, the emotional and psychological contrast that Eren is living in that moment is incredible. I don't want to be in his position, sincerely, not at all. But and that tear symbolized even the fact that Eren somehow has some morals, as much as Grisha had morals regarding not killing kids, regarding not doing something bad to kids. Now Eren is experiencing the same exact thing Grisha experienced when he had to kill the Race family. even in that case, Grisha didn't want to kill them, but he was forced by something else, by conscience, by his revengeful thoughts, because revenge is more important than anything, by this sort of voice that he keeps hearing in his mind that is influencing him to do so. So I think that even Eren didn't want to kill those kids as much as we see that after Grisha killed the Race family, Eren's expression is not like, yeah, we made it. No, it's like this. So I don't know. It's like as if sometimes I feel as if Eren is cursed by himself. I mean, as if he is forced by somebody from the future, of course, to do the things that he is doing. Look, as much as Eren said to Grisha, like here, what are you doing, Dad? Don't you remember this, this, and this? What if even Eren, in the moments in which he is the founding Titan, he is feeling the presence of somebody. It could be Ymir, because Ymir granted him the power. We needed to remember this. Ymir granted the power to him. So Eren is a container. Eren is not the handler of this power. The handler of the power is still Ymir, who decided to have the best revenge of the world by granting him the power. But anyway, what if Eren too is hearing a presence, feeling a presence next to him as much as he was doing with Grisha? And this voice is telling him, don't you remember that your mother was killed? What are you doing? Why are you crying? Do it, do it, do it. I mean, it could be possible. If this is a story of a loop, the loop can continue. It doesn't mean that just because Eren thinks that the loop is interrupted, it's really interrupted. Maybe no. Maybe it's just maybe he thinks that he is inside of the illusion that he could interrupt the loop, but he didn't. And then the beautiful scene of the declaration, because look, Eren, if I were in Mikasa, I would have asked him, "What do you think about me, Eren? Tell me, as much as you wanted to know what I am to you, can you tell me what am I to you?" That would be amazing. But Mikasa didn't have. I mean, they were interrupted. Oh, I felt so bad because. Okay, no, I feel good about that man who came with the two uh, tea teacups. But if he didn't come in that moment, then maybe we would have had another confession of a different way, or in a different way. But okay. Eren is asking her, why do you care so much about me? Uh, is it because I saved you? Or is it because I am your family? So great. What am I to you? I would have said something else, but okay. Um, in that moment, you see Eren's eye that is looking at Mikasa as if he is waiting for that answer. I mean, as if he is there in that moment of tension, and he feels anxious at the same time because he has to confirm in that specific moment, he is confirming if what he saw from the future is correct or not. So if you see even Eren that is waiting for Mikasa's answer, and his eye that is tell me, come on, tell me. I mean, can you tell me now, or what are you waiting for? So it's a moment of attention because everything depends on that answer. And of course, you understand by looking at his eyes that everything that he's saying later, that means I've always hated you, is fake, of course. But it seems like the scene of civil marriage. Definitely, like a a ceremony of a civil marriage. She's wearing white clothes. He's wearing black clothes. And of course, that man that is appearing over there, he seems like the priest, let's say. And of course, Mikasa is saying, you are my family. Definitely. So, listen carefully. Eren lost his family already. I mean, his mom was his family. Now, he has a new family to protect them. And things, now I'm thinking as if I am Eren for a second. Now I have a new family to protect, and the things can't repeat once again. I have to interrupt this loop that regards me specifically, not other people. So if she says that I am her family, I have to destroy the world. Because if I destroy the world, I'm sure, Eren, you made a mistake. I am sure that nothing bad can happen to my family, that means Mikasa, anymore. This is what Eren thinks, but that doesn't mean that it's correct. It's, in fact, it's wrong. Okay, but that's what Eren thinks. I lost my mother. My mother was the light of my eyes. Now that Mikasa is telling me that I am her family, I can't lose her. Because, as I was telling you, in my strange and stupid mind, I thought I saw that Mikasa is smiling, maybe. That Mikasa is having a baby, maybe. That's my baby. So, if I destroy the world, I have the chance maybe to make her happy. And I can protect her because from what I saw from the future, she's having a baby. She's smiling. It means I am also alive. Otherwise, why she's smiling? This is just what I'm pretending that Eren is looking from the future, okay? It didn't happen in the episode. But what if? And at the end of the day, he will realize the no. I have another option to tell you. What if Eren now is stolen somehow by Ymir? I mean, I'm thinking something like this based on what I told you so far. I mean, Eren saw some friend from the future. He saw those things. So he thought, okay, let me go ahead with my mission because that I saw from the future is the result. But once Ymir got, I mean, got her power back, once Ymir could give him the power to do what he had to do, let me tell you that I don't think that Eren saw his face as a founding titan from the future. At that time, he didn't see it. I don't think so. Or if he saw it, okay. But what if once Ymir got this power back, what if Eren is stuck right now? I mean, I'm imagining, give me your power, give me, I'm going to destroy, yeah. But what if later Eren is automatically confined somewhere, maybe in that dimension of the Yumiru no Tami, and he can't come out because he thought that he couldn't govern, I mean, he could rule on Ymir's power, but at the end of the day, Ymir, by accepting this and by expressing her will once again, in fact, her eyes were wide open. What if Ymir now is taking the control on Eren? And Eren can't do anything anymore because if he's stuck, he can't go out anymore from that dimension. Do Do you understand what I mean? So maybe over there he is going to realize that everything that he was thinking or everything that he was seeing from the future was just a mere illusion, or it was partially true, but he couldn't see. I mean, he couldn't see that that was not him. That maybe he was not alive at all, and Mikasa was smiling or having a baby with somebody else. Can you imagine? Anyway, Eren that he thinks that the man over there he is inviting them to the party. Yeah, it could be true. Or maybe the fact that he brought two teacups. Maybe it's a traditional way for them to create a marriage. We will never know. Because Eren was, yes, see, once again, when this man was talking in his language and Eren didn't understand a word from what he said, he was guessing. He was pretending to understand what he was saying. But maybe this man was just saying, you are a cute couple, or, oh, you are married. If you drink this tea, drink it so you are married. No, you never know what he said. So once again, Eren pretends to know what that man said, but nobody will never know. Maybe he was just saying, drink this cup of tea and you will be married. Or I declare you wife and husband. We will never know. But this is, see, remember these details. And then there is this nostalgic, pretty emotional party before the chaos. Um, these are the last moments of joy. And that's why I was crying hard because listen, Isayama, you hate me. No, I mean, even before regaining Shiganshina in season 3 part 2, I mean season 3 part 1, anticipating season 3 part 2, there was a moment of joy, a moment of having a party. And you know that when these moments are coming, you should treasure those moments because those moments are not coming back. And in fact, they will never come back. This was also the last time that Eren could enjoy with his friends, as always. It was the first, sorry, it was the last time that Eren could see his friends or his lover happy. And maybe thanks to the answer Mikasa gave him, maybe while he's looking at Mikasa and Armin together laughing, he was saying, maybe we will go back to this time once all this destruction is finished. Maybe now you think that I will be wrong, but one day we will be back all together by being happy, etc., etc. I don't know, but I'm still thinking in the moment in which Eren was 4 years before. Then, of course, Eren, when he's talking to Zeke, is 4 years, I mean, some years after, and it's different, but 3 years after, sorry. But definitely in that moment, I could see in Eren's eyes all the hope and all the will to make them happy. And I open a bracket, sorry to tell you, but I will tell you even later, but I'm telling you even now. Flock is not there. I mean, people who believe that Flock is a great friend of Eren, no. I mean, you need to understand that Eren is always thinking on the people they are showing us. And throughout all the flashbacks, throughout all these moments in which Eren is happy by looking at them, Flock is not in his mind. So Flock is not a friend to Eren. Flock is not in the mind of Eren, sincerely, as a friend. As a teammate, yes, but teammates and friends are two different things. So please, don't think that Flock is a best friend of Eren or Flock is the only friend who could take care of Eren. No, not in my opinion, sincerely. Um, Then another thing that I noticed, that then I found it even online, and I appreciated that I had the same thought. When Mikasa is giving her back to Sasha, is the same context that we find when she is giving the back to her grave, and that's pretty sad. That's pretty sad because Mikasa and Sasha were really great friends, and they were spending lots of time together. So when she's giving her back to the grave, now more than ever, I understand what she was referring to. Because at that time, she was giving her back to Sasha's back, and they were all alive and they were all having fun. I think that's why I cried too. I mean, it's so sad. And no matter how many times I rewatch that episode or the previous episodes, I feel sad because these moments are precious for them, but they are precious for us too, who are following this story for 10 years. So I think that we are so empathic with them. From what I understood from this story, if people experience the same suffering, they, even if they don't understand each other because they speak two different languages, they can find things in common, they can share feelings, and they can enjoy together. This is what happened during this party, because both of them, both of these populations were discriminated, they were confined, they were poor, they were inferior than others, etc., etc. But in this moment, they could share the feeling of staying together. And even if we understand that these people don't speak the same language and they can't understand each other, there is always a way to understand each other. It depends if you want or if you don't want. So I really hope that even Marlians would have done the same, because even if they are from two different sides of the world, they experienced more or less the same things that Yumi no Tami experienced because of this Eldian empire. So by having experienced the same thing, they could have understood each other, one another, but they preferred not to do so. So I prefer these migrants who are inviting these people who have suffered the same and rejoice by having this party. This is the key of what, even in our world, we should do. Even if we don't speak the same language, even if we don't understand each other, there is always a way to communicate with the gestures, with eye contacts, with feelings, with something. That's why Eren made this mistake. Eren chose the easiest path. And I remember when Kiyomi said to Flock, you think that by destroying the world you erase the problem? No, you are just creating a mini world. That's why Eren made a mistake. Because just because you erase the 95% of the planet, that 5% doesn't mean that that 5% inside that, not that 5%, there can't be any other problem, or there can't be the same problems. Maybe Eren will never know because Eren will be killed before, but this was the main problem. Eren thought that by choosing the easiest path, everything would have been great. Because if you erase, in his opinion, the roots, I mean, sorry, if you erase the trunks of the trees, um, the problem is over. No, because the roots of those trunk of the trees is still there. So until you erase the roots, you are not erasing anything. So at this point, I would have preferred, I mean, Eren would have been even more coherent, let's say, from his point of view, to destroy the entire world. Because if you destroy everybody, there is not a chance that humanity can survive and can go ahead, right? But if you give the possibility to humanity to go ahead, you needed to know that even inside of Paradise, there could be corrupted people, there could be people who want to create another hierarchy, there would be people who are going to impose themselves on others, there would be people who are bullying others. The problems are not solved. So, or everybody or nothing. I know that Eren wants to go ahead with his feelings and protect his friends, but I mean, protect his friends, but also all the people living inside of Paradise. But he needs to remember what happened, for example, in season 3, part 1. Even if we were inside of Paradise, there was a coup d'etat because there were corrupted people inside. There was a hierarchy, a fake hierarchy inside, who was promoting to leave everything like this, blah, 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 blah. The most important thing was to rule others. So, Eren, so sorry to tell you, but what you're doing is a mistake. And I think that he will realize it later when it will be too late. And once again, I tell you this, Eren, in my opinion, is convinced, as much as Grisha was convinced, that what he was doing this for a good purpose, but it's turning into a bad one. And he will realize it when it's almost over, when nothing can go back as before. There is no turning back anymore. And it's too late. When it's too late, you can't. I mean, I think that Eren, when he will reach that moment, when he will have his disillusion, he will feel sad and he will maybe release all the emotions he was compressing because of this mission, because the mission was more important than his feelings. But it will be too late. So there will be no escape. And that's why I feel pretty emotional, because Eren is a victim of himself. As much as we saw in this episode that humanity is the victim of itself. And no matter if there is this party, the forest is always there. And the bad feelings are always prevailing on good ones. That's why the Eren we saw at the end of the episode, the founding titan, he is a demon, he is a monster, but it's the reflection, not just on what Marley did to Paradise so far. It's the representation, in my opinion, of all the bad feelings, compressed feelings, of all these feelings that are created, installed inside of human beings by society. Because it's the system, the problem. The system that is creating, motivating, installing in people these sort of feelings. And Eren is just the way to embody all the bad feelings that society is making you feel. So it's the portrait of all bad things. It's pretty evil. Yeah, I really like this founding Titan style, sincerely. I mean, I like how Mappa was recreating the face of the founding titan. That's scary, but I really love it, sincerely. I love the way in which they are representing Eren in this part, because I think not even Eren is realizing who he is turned into. I mean, if we could give to Eren a mirror, I think that, oh, who's that? I mean, I don't know if he saw this from the future, sincerely, but and it could be a great cosplay. I mean, if you like cosplays, you could try to recreate that face. Look, if I could, I would have done it. I would like to make a scary cosplays. I mean, I would like to recreate villains, or I mean, Eren is not a villain, but I like to recreate these monstrous cosplays. That's so great. I mean, I think that during some Comiket or some Anime Japan whatsoever, we can see the founding titan with all this black hair falling down. Wow, that's so beautiful. I really like it. But anyway, going back with what I was saying about the episode, Eren, he is looking at Mikasa and Armin, laughing, smiling, being happy. That's all he wants. It's like the perfect portrait of what he is calling happiness. I mean, it's like as if he's watching TV and he's looking happiness on the screen. Great image. But this is the last time that he sees Mikasa and Armin like this, because the next time he see them, there are no more smiles, sincerely. And he is in front of the same happiness that he is going to ruin once again. As much as for what happened to the boy, that he is crying in front of him because he saw that he was killing him really soon. The same. I mean, he is looking at this perfect portrait of the great friends who are happy, or a lover who is happy, but he is the one who's going to ruin all this happiness. So, but he is also convinced that by doing this, he can reach their happiness somehow. Wow, it seems incoherent, but in Eren's mind, that's what he is convinced of, based on what he saw, some things he saw from the future. And then the most painful scene to me is when you see Eren sleeping in the middle of Mikasa and Armin, as if for the last time he is surrounded, overwhelmed by these warm feelings of love. And it's the place he belongs to. And did you see? His leg was on top of John, as always. I mean, there is not even a chance that he's hugging John. No, never. But I still believe Eren trusts John, because even if he knows that John feels something for Mikasa, he's still trusting him, because he knows, in my opinion, that he is respecting Mikasa's feelings. So even if he could be jealous somehow of him, but I don't think so. I don't think that he will be jealous of John specifically. Maybe he can be jealous of another man that is jumping on Mikasa's life because he doesn't know him. I mean, Eren maybe can be jealous of another man that is appearing later when he is gone and he has never had the chance to meet him. But in the case of John, Eren knows John, and he knows that he will never replace him. Never in the world, in Mikasa's heart. So I don't feel as if he is jealous of him. He could have been at the beginning, yeah. Now, unconsciously speaking, yeah, but right now it's different. I don't think so. But anyway, yeah, Eren that is sleeping in between Armin and Mikasa. That was the peak for my sadness, to be honest, because that trio, that representation of the trio who are sleeping peacefully, is going to be interrupted. And it's like the trio, John, Connie, and Sasha, when they were all together for a second, and then the problems were coming. And then we jump right into this conference that they are having this meeting in order to find an agreement, but the agreement is not found, of course. In fact, they are all disappointed, yeah, huh? As always. But Eren, who is listening to the people, clapping their hands. Do you remember? It's like the Liberios attack, before the Liberios attack, in which he is hearing the same reaction. And now maybe we understand why the eyes of Eren in that moment are like, here we go again. Because 3 years before, he was hearing these same clapping hands in this scenario, and he understood that at the end of the day, there was nothing changing, no matter the years passing. Um, and anyway, he knows that the story is already written from his point of view as much as it is. And in fact, that day it was announced that day they were separated once for all. I mean, Eren was going alone by his on his own, thanks to Zeke, and all the others were going back to Paradise. And also, they received later the letters that Eren was sending thanks to Falco, in which he was writing what his plan was, that he was trusting Zeke, he was staying next to him, and he was also writing the moment in which they should have appeared during Liberio's attack. Uh, and now we go back to Mikasa, who's looking up in the sky, who's looking at this bird flying in the sky, and she's saying, what if I changed my answer that day? Yes, every time it's like this. But I think that Mikasa was good by answering something like this, because that's why Eren loves her. Eren loves her not just because she's the beauty of this world, not just because she wants a simple life based on feelings, but he loves her because she is always true to herself, even if later she is said to do the contrary on purpose. But Eren loves her because she is always spontaneous, and she always wants to protect him because she loves him. So that time when he was receiving that confirmation from her, I think that Eren felt happy. Not just because it was a confirmation from everything he saw from the future, but he was happy to see that no matter what, Mikasa was going ahead with her feelings and she was true to herself. If she was answering something different, I don't think Eren would have trusted her. I mean, I don't think that Eren would have thought, okay, that's the real Mikasa that I know. But from that answer, he knew that Mikasa was always there for him. And it was just coherent. So, Mikasa, please don't condemn yourself. I think that you made the best choice by saying your feelings, because it's the truth. And you can't be fake to yourself. No, that's not good. And then what happened later, it's not your fault. It's Eren's will. It's Eren's free will as much as it was your free will to answer to that question. So I know that when there is the free will, usually we are scared to make a choice because we know that no matter what we don't choose can suffer, maybe, can feel pain. But on the other side, it's good that we choose something because by choosing something, we prove that we are alive. So, no matter Eren's choice, Mikasa's choice, at the end of the day, They did what they wanted. No matter if the consequences are wrong or right, from their perspective, it's right because they chose that. So, once again, the perspective of this story means a lot. It's everything that means here. We can't judge, in my opinion. We should be in their positions to be able to judge, or we should have experienced the same things before judging. Of course, we can't be in Aaron's position because nobody of us wants a genocide. And in fact, he is making a mistake. But we know that the intention by making this mistake was not that bad. I mean, if we judge Eren just because of this destruction of the world, of course, we have to say that he is wrong. But I also wanted to remember the intention. And even if this action is creating a bad consequence, the intention makes me understand that the Eren we have known throughout the previous seasons is not gone, is still there. Um, and then I mean, this episode is divided into two. We have the Mikasa's side with her feelings, with everything she saw, etc., etc. But now it's time to go on Eren's perspective. It's time to go back to Eren's side. And he is asking himself where everything started. And in fact, they show you the first episode. They show you the pigs. They show you his birth. And they show you several memories of season 4, everything that happened so far. Mm, but Eren is saying it doesn't matter where it started because I did what I did because of it was my will, as I was telling you 2 seconds ago, right? But is this Eren's will or is this Ymir's will? We still have to understand this because actually, Eren, as I was telling you some minutes ago, it can be the puppet of Ymir. I mean, right now that Ymir could regain her conscience by opening her eyes, by seeing her eyes, it's like as if, yeah, it's an awakening, as if she's never gone totally. So what if she is controlling Eren and he is now the slave? Look, it's a paradox, okay? Now Ymir, who was supposed to be the slave for 2,000 years, now she is the commander. And somebody has to stay under her. That means that Eren now is her slave. Remember when Eren said, I am a slave of nobody. I mean, I am free. I hate the people who are the slaves of something. But that means that Eren hates himself too because he was also a slave of something. But what if now everything turned upside down? I mean, what if now Ymir is taking her revenge simply because she was a slave for so many years? So why not turning now in the dominator? Why? What if now she really wants to feel? How does it feel to command others, to rule on others? Thanks to this container, that means Eren could be. And then we understand that thanks to these flashbacks on Eren's from Eren's point of view, on Eren's side this time, that Flock heard everything when he was talking to Yelena. I mean, when Yelena was was demanding him, follow Zeke, because if you trust Zeke, Zeke will trust you. Oh, okay. Okay. Eren is not responding at that time. Of course, he doesn't agree with that. Then Eren is talking to Flock, and he is explaining him that they have to fake. I mean, they have to fake the fact that they are on Zeke's side and whatsoever. So Flock if I'm not wrong, was saying in the previous episode, "Oh, Eren told me his plan months ago." Yeah, okay, it was true. But I don't think that Eren told you to go back to Paradise to create another sort of a totalitarianism, to kill the volunteers, to kill everyone who was not agreeing with you. I don't think so. I mean, one thing is to say something like this, and one thing is to no, when Flock is saying, now I'm speaking for Eren. Nobody gave you this right, sincerely. So that's why I don't agree with what Flock is doing after the fact that he is staying next to Eren. Maybe it was a matter of loyalty. Yeah, because you don't need to forget that in season 3, part 2, Eren saw that Flock said that we need a demon to go outside the ocean, I mean, to go outside the walls and to contrast them, etc., etc., etc. So Eren knew Flock's point of view. Eren knew that if he was saying something like this to Flock, he would have agreed. So it was easy for Eren to use Flock, even if maybe from Flock's point of view, he was really loyal to Eren and he was really staying on his side because he cared about him, but it's not corresponded. Because Eren knows who are the people he wants to save. And even in that picture, in his mind, when he is talking to Zeke and we see all together, and he says, I want them to be happy, I want them to be free, blah, 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 blah. There is no Flock in that frame. Sincerely, did you see that? I mean, there is Marlo. There is Marlo. And there is not Flock. This makes you understand many things. Go back and check it. There is Marlo. Marlo who's already being killed. Because it's a frame, I mean, it's a picture from the previous seasons. I mean, even before Marlo's death, Flock is not there. So Flock is not important to Eren. If he was important to Eren, he would have been there. He would have been there during the sunset scene. He would have been there when he was meeting them once again. Would have been there when you see through the memories of Eren who really cares about him and who he really loves. But there is no trace of a Flock. So Flock was just used because it was convenient. Because Eren knew the Flock could have been tricked easily. Because he is the demon he wanted in season 3, part 2. And look, that's why I'm saying maybe Flock somehow cared about Eren or was really loyal to Eren, because when Eren is saying, I'm going to destroy the world no matter what, blah, 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 Flock is looking at him like this because he can't believe too. Um, so I think that Flock was really, I mean, I really wanted to help Eren. Ah, ok, c'era nel frame. Ok, allora vado a rivederlo, vado a rivederlo. But Flock really didn't mind to be important to Eren. I mean, I don't know how to explain this, but how can you compare the relationship that Flock has with Eren with the relationship Mikasa, Armin, and Eren have? Come on, it can't be the same. It can't be the same. Eren spent lots of years with Jan, Connie, Sasha, Hanji, Levi before even the Flock was coming. So we can't compare the quality of time. Yes, usually we are paying attention on the quantity of time people spend together. But in the case of Eren and all the others except for Flock, there was not just a quantity, there was even the quality, because they were experiencing terror together. They were experiencing suffering together. They were losing comrades, and they were crying all together. They were sharing. With the flock, there is nothing. Flock, there is just okay. Do me this thing for me, thank you. Okay, I order you, not even order, no, not order. Let's do something like this. Okay, that's it. I mean, we can't compare the two things. We can't. If we do, we make a mistake, in my opinion. And then, okay, I already explained you what I mean. To me, it was more coherent for Eren to say, "Look, I'm going to destroy everybody, even the people I care, everybody, boom." Because if I do something like this, humanity is not born anymore. We erase the hatred that humanity is feeding himself, herself. I mean, everyone is feeding. But if you keep that 5%, you are just reducing the world. You're not just erasing the problem. You are just reducing it. I mean, you are reducing the percentage, but the problem is still there. So Kiyomi was totally right when she was saying this to Flock. Totally right. You are just creating a minimal world. Paradise was a world in the previous seasons. I mean, it was considered the core of humanity, where humanity was living, the rest of humanity. So it was a world, a mini world. But inside this mini world, there were still lots of problems. So, Eren, so sorry to tell you, I don't know what you saw from the future, my dear, but you made a mistake. But I'm happy somehow because Eren is a human being. And as a human being, he has the right to commit mistakes. He has the right to be sinful. And he has the right to pay for his mistakes in order for him to understand that he was making a mistake. Even if the proportion is pretty large, because we are talking about 95% of the world. But anyway, it's considered as a mistake. So Eren can't be perfect. Eren can't be what we expect or what we idealized. Eren has to make mistakes. Because till this season 4, Eren was considered the hope, the salvation for humanity, the show, right? But in this case, he is turning into the problem for humanity. He is turning as the things to be defeated. And the reason why is because from season 1, we expected Eren to save humanity, to save everyone, to be loyal, blah, blah, blah. In season 4, we were also disillusioned. And Eren can't be considered as the salvation because nobody is the salvation. I mean, we are all human beings, so we can't be saved by someone as a human being who is staying on top of other human beings. Otherwise, we are incoherent, right? I mean, if we as human beings are all the same, and if we say that we are all the same, if all human beings are making mistakes, even Eren is making a mistake, no matter the proportion. I'm just logically thinking, okay? So Eren can't be the God of salvation, can't be a salvation, can't be a Mesha, can't be someone who is determining everything for the world. Otherwise, it's incoherent. Eren is a human being, and as a human being, has to stay on the same level as others. That means that he is making a mistake. He can't be the salvation for anybody. He is sinful. He is selfish. He is presumptuous. He cares more about himself than all the others. I mean, he is the embodying, he is the representation of humanity who is admitted in a rotten society. I mean, this founding titan is embodying all this. And then uh, he is talking to Historia, and he's saying that he doesn't want that kids are eaten. No, sorry, that kids are going to eat the parents, etc., etc. Of course, while he's talking to Historia, we have to pay attention on the sunset. While with Mikasa it was night, but with Historia it's a sunset because it's the end of a chapter. Because from that moment, that Eren is not the same Eren somehow that we saw in season 3, part 1 with her. It's the end of a chapter because from that moment on, finally, I'm happy because finally we could see the dialogue between Historia and Eren. But at the same time, Eren has already chosen, so you can't change his mind. And not even Historia can. I mean, she's trying, and it's admirable that she's trying because we should keep going on trying to defeat the forest, even if it seems impossible. Yes, but there's no match. She can't. And I like even the desperation Historia is having because she was always hoping for a better world. She was struggling as a queen to create less ignorance, more truth. But then the result is there is that maybe, just maybe, even if I don't agree, in fact, I'm saying it ironically speaking, maybe it was better to be ignorant than knowing the truth. Maybe. Because look where we reached right now. I mean, but yeah, I feel Historia's disillusion and Historia's sadness, depression, desperation, because she imagined everything except for an ending like this, as much as all the others, of course. And then, in fact, she's saying, I can't stop trying to stop you. I mean, I can't refrain myself from stopping you, of course. But Eren is saying, look, if you can't handle all these, you can wait until I can erase your memories, and that's it. Eren, you're talking to a person, that is Historia, who has had erased her memories since she was a child. I mean, Frida was always erasing her memories. How is she supposed to say yes right now? After she finally got in touch with the truth, after she discovered that Frida erased her mind all over again, how can you expect that now she's saying, yes, erase my memories because if I can erase the pain, that's it? No, no. Because Historia was the first race promoting truth instead of ignorance. So definitely she doesn't want to take a step back. Absolutely. And then you are the worst because that day you saved me. Actually, yes. I mean, in season 3, part 1, we were all happy because look, I can't wait for my mother's reactions because my mother will never imagine something like this. Stay tuned, they are coming sooner or later. When she will be able to come to Japan, we will make it. But at that time in season 3, part 1, she was happy. We were all happy that she saved Eren. But now, look, as much as Mikasa is asking herself, should I have given a different answer? What if Historia didn't save Eren? What if she ate Eren? She could have collected even Grisha's memories. Wow! I mean, and even Eren's memories. Wow! Could she have been influenced by all these? Yes, in what kind we will never know. But sometimes let's think about these what if. Um, but actually, Eren is true. You saved me. You will be remembered as the woman who saved the destroyer. So you are the worst. Well, I really like the way in which Isayama is exchanging everything. I mean, he's turning everything upside down. It's amazing. Because in season 3, part 1, nobody would have expected this. Amazing. Oh, and then we skip to the moment in which Eren is talking to Zeke. So Eren is asking to Zeke regarding these headaches that Mikasa is having. And let me tell you, while Zeke is talking to him, Eren is already collecting the info that he needs in order to create the perfect excuse to tell Mikasa, look, I've always hated you for this, and this, and this. But he was also trying to find a way to explain these headaches. And that's why I'm saying, please, in the future, can you do us a favor? Do us a prequel regarding the Ackerman, because we need to know more about them. I still wonder who was the first Ackerman, who started these generation, these descendants. That's amazing. I would like to know. But then Zeke is saying, well, no, look, we just know from research is that, and in the meantime, Eren is collecting, he's writing in his mind the notes. But it's not true. I mean, Zeke is saying, from what we know, it's not that the meaning. It's just that Mikasa loves you. Finished. Okay. In this moment, Zeke, I like you sincerely, because finally you are all of us telling Eren the final answer that he should have understood since the beginning. But okay. And maybe, yes, I wrote here down on my notes, maybe Eren was also asking about these headaches, not just because he wanted to create an excuse to give it to Mikasa in the case he was meeting her later, but also because he desperately hoped that Mikasa was not involved with her feelings towards him, because in the case he's dying, in the case he has to go on with his mission, he knows that she's going to suffer. So by knowing that he doesn't want her to suffer, he was praying, please, Zeke, give me an answer to this. Tell me that she's not loving me. Please, she's loving you. Okay. I mean, do you understand what I mean? Eren is desperately trying to find a way in which he can't let Mikasa suffering, but there's no choice because she has to kill you. I mean, now everyone wants that she's killing you. Look where we are reaching. And this, once again, I tell you, maybe this is in contrast with what he saw from the future. Because maybe, look, at this point, if later I'm going to discover that I was right, I'm going to scream during the reaction, okay? That will come next year. But maybe Eren saw that she's going to have a baby, and she was smiling. So he thought that he was about to survive. Can you imagine if we reach a moment in which Eren is thinking that, I mean, he's understanding that everything was wrong? I mean, that she's smiling or she's having a baby not because of him or not because it's his baby, but because it's somebody else's baby, or she's smiling because of something else and just because it was that frame. Maybe we reach a moment in which Eren, in the opening, right? You see that he's Or maybe he is the first time that we will see Eren's feelings revealed 100%. In which he maybe he is saying, "Well, I saw from the future. There's a thing. Why it's going on like this? I don't want to die. I thought that I was about to survive. I thought that I was about to have a family with Mikasa. I don't know, but." Oh, look, if this moment is coming, I will cry hard because ah, because there is no turning back. Oh my. And then Zeke is saying, "What do you think about her?" I mean, Zeke, the gossip man. But look, I agree with Zeke. Finally, somebody who's asking him, "What do you think about Mikasa?" Tell us. No, of course I have just 4 years left. So, what do you say? Another way to compress his feelings, to hide them, to mute them, because in the case he's just thinking about them, his mission is gone. I mean, if he is saying to Ziki, "Yes, actually, I love Mikasa too," he can't go ahead with this mission. He would have preferred instead to go back home to spend his 4 last years together with her and maybe dying with her. Maybe it was the best ending that everyone was expecting. I don't know. But of course, Eren couldn't say yes because he maybe is afraid to spend the last year with Mikasa all happy and then he has to go anyway. But Eren, dear Eren, by denying your feelings, that doesn't mean that you don't feel them. So even during the reaction, I was saying it doesn't matter because, yes, it doesn't matter how many years you have to spend with her. It's the quality that matters. And maybe you could have created a family with her and you could have let your baby inherit from you uh, everything. I mean, you could have inherited the will to love, the will to have a family. You could have reached your wishes. So by denying your feelings, that doesn't mean that they are gone. You're just hiding them. You're not. I mean, you're not confronting them. You're just skipping them. But by skipping them, you're not erasing them. It's not like the rumbling. The rumbling is just actions, but with the feelings of Kankenai, it doesn't have anything to do. So I feel Eren. He has a time limit. He thinks that is even more painful to let her stay over there while she sees you dying. Oh my. I mean, maybe he wanted to prevent even the fact that Mikasa one day has to discover that he's gone. Or even his boy or his girl, if in the case they had kids, had to discover the same. He, by doing this, he wants to prevent Mikasa from suffering, but he doesn't know that Mikasa is already suffering anyway. So, Eren, you are a victim of yourself. But from this answer, you understand how much he loves her. Definitely. Uh, I don't want to reach the last episode, sincerely. I think I will cry more than ever because it's so sad. But anyway, while he's saying something like this, while he's talking and he's saying, uh, I know, first we see Eren that he's ready to do everything. He's cutting his leg, he's putting this bullet inside his eye. I was like, oh my. And let me tell you, um, the scene of the bullet inside the eye is said when he's saying, even when I will die, their lives will go ahead. And okay, this is just maybe a metaphor, okay? But It's like as if by putting the bullet inside his eye, in that moment he's saying this statement. It's like as if he's saying, "I don't want to see that future without me." I mean, by putting the bullet in the eye, he is not seeing, so he is refraining himself from seeing. Okay, um, but Eren needs to know that even if he will be gone, physically speaking, he has a place he belongs to. He has a place to go back to. That is his family. That means he will never be free completely because there is the place to go back to. So even if he will be gone physically speaking, we know that he will be like a lucky charm for his family by having Mikasa, by having the scarf, and maybe he will come as a bird, as I was telling you at the beginning of the episode. Mikasa is always looking that bird passing through. I mean, and we understand that the bird on top of the ship is Eren checking everything from the top as an omniscient narrator. So there will be the chance, there will be the way to be back. I'm pretty sure. So, Eren, you know that you will be there. And that's why maybe you feel confident. Maybe. But I think that Mikasa will go ahead by living her life, but she will never forget you. Never. Because, first of all, she's an Ackerman, and her memories, no matter what's going to happen in the future, the memories of Mikasa will never be erased. And also because mm, I can believe something else at this point. If they can't have a baby before he dies, remember that he is the founding titan. So if he is defeated, maybe he can be divided into nine titans once again. As much as it's said that if the new owner of the titan is not eating the previous one, randomly these descendants of the titan, this power can be gained randomly. So maybe Mikasa can have a new baby. I mean, can have her baby from somebody else. And anyway, this baby can inherit Eren's power. Why not? Because it's randomly. Even if it's not his baby, or even if he's not eaten by this person, these descendants of power can go ahead. So, what if they have this baby, Mikasa and somebody else? I don't think it's John. I mean, even if John maybe will be there protecting her as a figure that Mikasa can trust, um, maybe the new generation that is coming, the new baby that Mikasa is having, is the person who is controlling Eren right now by showing Eren the memories from the future. Whoa! I'm just saying something stupid. Don't worry. I'm just like, I mean, I like to guess, but anyway. Then he's saying, um, I want that they live longer. I mean, they have a long life. Yes, he said it already during the sunset scene, and that they are happy. Then, while he's saying these sentences, there are some frames that you know, and it's included even I mean, it's included even Sasha who was killed, plus this beautiful frame in which they are all together in the previous seasons, etc., etc. So Eren is going in that moment because we needed to remember that now we are next to Zeke, and things still have to happen. The Liberios attack still has to happen. But I mean, he is going ahead, creating the chaos. And maybe he was not expecting to create this chaos. I mean, he was expecting to create an attack, an immense attack, but maybe this chaos. I mean, exactly as we see. mm, I still believe here that he is tricked as much as Grisha was tricked by these frames. And then you see after this discussion with the Zik, this bird that is flying during the sunset. It means we are approaching Eren's death because the sunset, it means the end. And the bird is Eren. So Eren that is flying towards the sunset, we are reaching his end. And I'm not ready, sincerely. The last scene of this episode, an incredible scene. You see the other side of the ocean with all these cannons, and they said, we brought here all the cannons of the world. That means, guys, we are over because these cannons can't do anything to the rumbling. So, one hint already that it's all gone. Then we have all the human minds all together against the one target. And as I was telling you 1 year ago, that's what's happening. Do you remember? I was telling you Eren will become the one and only target of the world. And that's why even Eren wanted to push Mikasa and Armin away from him because he hoped that they could have survived by staying against him. Because if they stayed next to Eren sincerely, or if they wanted to protect Eren, they would have been killed, right? So that's what he wanted to push them away and to say, look, I hate you. I mean, I hate you. I love you. Okay. Then the colossal can swim. Okay, for two reasons. The first reason is that what I told you some months ago, before even seeing the rumbling, that I was telling you that maybe the colossal titans can swim because anyway they are always coming from the same origin, and the origin is this creature that was attaching to Emir inside that tree, and we all know that that creature was underwater, so it means that it can live underwater. That's why maybe even the colossal titans can swim for this reason. But of course, they can swim so fast like this also because it's Eren who's guiding them. I mean, it's Eren who's saying, swim, and they are swimming. As much as he was guiding the Titans during season 2, when after the declaration of love, in which he got in touch with Dinah Fritz and he could release this power. So of course it's Eren guiding them, commanding them to swim as fast as they can. um, but yeah, they can swim for these two reasons, I guess. I think that there are no other reasons, sincerely. Or if there are, don't tell me because I don't want to know. I don't want to spoilers. I don't want anything. I'm just guessing. So for me, it's more entertaining me. I mean, it's more entertaining for me, but it's entertaining me to discover next year, well, what's going on. So please don't put spoilers. Thank you. Um, and then the faces of the people who are experiencing the same trauma that was experienced in season 1, episode 1, the colossal appearing and all the people terrified. um, it came to my mind the sentence, the terror to be oppressed by them, in episode 1. um, and this terror to be oppressed by them. In season one, episode one, it could have been referred to Paradise people who were confronting the Titans for the first time. So the terror that those Titans were given to them. But in this case, this terror now is made by the same person who was terrorized in episode one. Wow. I mean, I would have never expected this, my lord. And even in this scene, you understand that human beings are nothing. I mean, they are so tiny compared to the colossal titans. And no matter the cannons they use, no matter how much they run. Yes, during the reaction video, I was talking to you about the tsunami, because in 2011 there was this great tsunami here in Japan, and it created lots of destruction, lots of death. And when I saw that frame of the colossal titans approaching, it reminded me that moment, sincerely. It was pretty sad. Yeah. And it's crazy to think that now everyone is escaping from Eren. I mean, at the beginning, we were all saying, Eren, you are the savior. Eren, you are the hope for humanity. And now everyone is running away from him because he's the destroyer of humanity. This contraposition is simply great in this story, because we believe something, but this something can be dismantled in few seconds. Wow. Does this mean that what we believe is all fake? Yeah, sometimes I believe things too, as much as you believe things. But this story is telling us, don't be so sure about what you think, because everything you think can be dismantled, can be smashed, can be disrupted, destroyed in few seconds. So don't be so sure of everything you think, because maybe one day you will feel the same disillusion. Who knows? Once again, a good job, Mappa. A good job for the music that was chosen. That, if I'm not wrong, is the same music that was chosen in season 3, part 2, when in episode 1 of season 3, part 2, when the Erwin is confronting the Beast Titan. Try to remember what he said in that moment. He was saying, Titans or humans? I mean, Titans or humanity? Who's going to make it? Who's going to survive? Erwin, I know that you wanted to put the spoilers until since the season 1, okay? But this was a great spoiler. And the music was the same. If I'm not wrong, the music was the same, as much as at the end of this episode. But now there is no more the Beast Titan against the humanity. There is Eren. I would like to ask Erwin, what do you think? What do you think, Erwin, about now? Well, now that we reached this point, what do you think? Hilarious, right? And then the last sentence that he's saying, referring to episode 1. I will destroy them all of them, until the last one from this world. Guys, we were struggling for seasons, believing that we were talking about Titans. We were talking about us, and we were happy at that time. Eh? At that time, we said, "Go ahead and destroy them all." Now, you were talking about us. Ah, please don't do that. I mean, see, and this is amazing. Shingeki is a masterpiece. Yes, absolutely. Who cares about the ending? If you like it, if you don't like it, um, I think that this story is. Of course. Sorry, I forgot. Before saying this sentence, there is still Carla. She is still there, and he has never forget about her. Yeah, yeah, I know, I know. He's talking about Titans, but this sentence can be misunderstood easily because it can mean both. Um, but I think that by killing all the Titans, he will kill himself too. Of course, that's what he wants in order to reach freedom. I know that already. But if you read it in another way, especially by matching the sentences with the scene you're watching in this episode, it can be referred even in the other way. Because Eren wants to destroy the world anyway. So, okay, now I want to talk to you really quick about the key visual that came out after the ending of the episode 87. Okay, I noticed the one thing. First of all, first of all, between all these people, there is not Onyankopon and Yelena. I mean, they are all of them except for these two. And okay, don't tell me anything, but I don't know why. But okay, it was just something that I had to tell you. Another thing I wanted to tell you regarding the key visual is that they are all inside of these trays of the colossal titan. From my perspective, this is a great meaning because all those people that you see over there, okay, except for Peak, Reiner, but anyway, they are all Yumiru no Tami. So mm, they are the survivals. And I mean, they are all the people who are dear to Eren, and they are all the people who are going to struggle defeating Eren. So that trace and the fact that they are inside of that trace, it's like as if, okay, I am Eren right now. Let's put them all together inside of that trace, as if they are my treasure, as if I have to protect them. And in fact, they are all inside that specific trace. That I know that it's the trace of the colossal, the one of the colossal of the rumbling, but I don't know, I felt as if it was like a sort of a shelter or a protection because that trace is more marked than all the others around. And it's like as if Eren wants to tell them, oh, stay there, I protect you, or stay there because I want you to survive, I want you to live longer. I had that feeling. Mm, I noticed another thing. Um, Armin is in front of them. I didn't expect that. I imagine. I mean, I have always imagined since last year that Mikasa is going to kill Eren. So Mikasa has this great mission to fulfill. It's pretty painful. It will be painful. So I expected her to be in front of everyone. But Armin is in the first row. So I think that Armin will play a great role in this last part. And I don't think that he's in front because it's just a coincidence or just because, okay, randomly let's put Armin. And no, I think Armin will play a great role. Or maybe he knows that for Mikasa is too hard to kill him, so he wants to kill him instead to protect her from doing this. I don't know. But I still hope that she is going to kill Eren because I still believe that that's the only killer that Eren can accept for his death. I still believe that if it's somebody else, it's not the same. I think that he really wants to be killed by Mikasa because once he's dead, I was killed by the person who loved me the most, who knew me the most. So it's fine. I can accept it. If he was killed by Yelena, it was not the same, okay? I mean, I just to give you an example, an extreme example. Now, Armin is in front because everything started from him. The book was the starting point, maybe. And he is in front because, do you remember, even before reaching the rumbling, they still have to reach it, but Armin always wanted to talk to Eren. Even he said that even to Mikasa. He said, okay, when everything like this will finish, he will be already dead. Let's talk to Eren. Let's ask him the confirmation if he really hates you. No, I think at this point, before he dies, Armin maybe is in front because he will have the chance to talk to Eren for the last time. And maybe he has the chance to ask him some things that maybe he can't say to Mikasa. So it's like as if Armin is the Mikasa's shield. He is going in front of her to hear, and then he can tell her what Eren can't tell her. Because I think Eren will never tell her, oh, look, Mikasa, yes, I didn't hate you. I love you instead. No, I think Armin is the connector. So maybe Armin is going to talk to Eren, and then Eren is going to tell him, or he is going to confess him some things that he can't say directly to Mikasa. And then once Eren will be gone, maybe Armin is going to reply to Mikasa, or he is going to say to Mikasa everything that Eren couldn't tell her directly. Maybe. But if Armin is going to say these before Mikasa killing Eren, then Mikasa will never kill Eren. I mean, if she is hearing from Armin, look, Eren told me that he loves you so much, then Mikasa will never kill him, sincerely. But if he is telling her later, maybe she will understand that it was better like this at this point. I don't know, but Armin that is in front of everyone, he is playing a role, a great role. And I think that that's why we need to see him over there. No, I'm not a manga reader, anime only. um, so that's why I'm saying Armin standing in the front in this key visual makes me understand that his role in this part will be more determined than in the previous one. Only look, only Armin knows Eren's thoughts deeply. If you remember, even in season 3, part 2, when they were finding a plan to defeat Bertold, when Armin was always awakening the real Eren, while Eren was in trouble when he was a Titan and he had these mischievous feelings and whatsoever, Armin was always there, thinking with Eren, talking to Eren, as if he is the right angel on the right shoulder. Okay, while Zeke is the no, or Yelena is the the demon on the left shoulder. No, I'm joking, but I think Armin feels guilty, guys. I mean, he feels guilty because if he didn't give him that book, he would have never caused anything. Maybe at this point we would have had Eren, Mikasa, three kids. I know, but they anyway they would have been attacked. But maybe yeah, Armin feels responsible anyway. Responsible for a disillusion, because he was saying, Eren, look, there are lots of continents. There is the ocean. There is nobody else. If we defeated the Titans, we have all the world for us. But he created this illusion that it was destroyed. It was not real. So I think that even Armin feels guilty. But Armin has to talk to Eren for the last time. We can't see, look, we can't see Mikasa taking a sword or the rice or whatsoever. Yeah, boom, finished. Ciao, buonasera. No, 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 no. In the previous episodes of this part two, Armin said that he wants to talk to Eren. And he wants to talk to Eren because he needs an answer for Mikasa. I mean, they really want to know about the reason why Eren said that to Mikasa. So there has to be a chance to talk to him. Come on. It's impossible that it's finishing without Armin having a dialogue with Eren, or at least telling him, look, you're about to die. I'm so sorry that we reached this moment, but before you die, please tell me once again. Do you, I mean, tell me once for all, do you love Mikasa? I needed to tell her. At least after you die, I have to tell her that actually you loved her. Come on, if I was Armin, if I put myself in Armin's position right now, I would have said something like this. Because Armin always protected Mikasa, because even Armin understood that Mikasa loved Eren since the beginning. So, mm, as always, Armin that is putting himself in the last position. He always prefers to take care of his dear friends first. What a great character, Armin, too. Yeah. Let's see. Or maybe Armin is in front because finally he's accepting the fact that he was saved. I mean, he was chosen because of that serum. And he has to accept the fact that he was chosen. So he has to find a plan to defeat Eren. Maybe that's true. Yeah. Maybe, I mean, I can't, no, maybe. Of course it will happen. I mean, Armin will have a plan. So yeah, maybe that's why he's standing in front of everyone, because he's going to conduct them to the last plan, to the last battle, in which they have to defeat someone they have never expected to defeat. And once again, everything is on Armin's shoulders. So even Armin, even for Armin, it will be pretty hard. But let's see. Let's see. I have my vision in my mind, okay? And I tell you another thing, last thing, okay? Um, do you remember Mikasa's dad? The Ackerman. Yeah. He is the only one with the brown hair, a little bit of beard. That's a John. I mean, Mikasa has to survive without Eren. I have thought about this throughout these weeks. And yeah, John will support Mikasa in the future, and you will see once again, as if we can see Mikasa's mom and Mikasa's dad. I don't know why I thought something like this, but John has the same hair color of Mikasa's dad. He also has a little beard, and Mikasa resembles her mom. So it's like as if these two parents who were killed brutally by these burglars have the chance in a new life to be there still once again, as if they have another chance to relive what Mikasa's parents couldn't. That was great to think. I mean, uh, but sincerely, we know that Mikasa's parents were brutally killed like this without having a chance to live a simple life. But Mikasa with John will have the chance to live this simple life. And John, I don't think John will be her husband. I think that he will just be there to comfort her, to support her, to stay by her side, to remember as much as she will do, by being respectful of her suffering after Eren's death, and to stay, because Eren can't. Eren is showing himself definitely in another way, and I'm pretty sure now she doesn't have the scarf because, of course, no, I mean she got it back sincerely because Louise stole it, but she will have the scarf always because that's Eren's promise. I will always put a scarf around you forever. So if I see that Mikasa is getting rid of the scarf, I will be disappointed. Mikasa has to wear the scarf forever. And that's why I think John will not marry her, because Mikasa is not John's wife. Mikasa already married in this episode. And she's married. So I think that she will wear the scarf forever. And this means, Eren, you will always be here with me. If the ending is this, super coherent, it has to be like this. And I also believe, unfortunately, that things will not be gone. Things will not be gone. I mean, if what I told you regarding this person after Eren influencing him, maybe things can repeat. That's why Eren made a mistake. I mean, he made a mistake not for his existence, because now he can reach freedom, but he made a mistake believing that the problems are over. No, I mean, I think that if there is this person from the future influencing Eren to go on as he was doing, it means that this power of the Titans is not gone. This means that even that F creature over there who met, who got in touch with Ymir is not gone. Because that's the demon, guys. Eren is not the demon of this story. The demon, the real demon, is the creature, in my opinion. um, who is condemning the existence of populations and populations and populations. And that creature is underground. I mean, he's underwater, so he can survive even after the rumbling. He's underwater. I mean, no matter if the rumbling is crossing all around the world, that small white creature is still alive. Because, as I was telling you, one thing is to destroy the trunks of the trees, one thing is to erase the roots. But Eren is destroying just the surface. The surface is the trunks of the trees. The roots are still there. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's see, these are my thoughts regarding episode 87. These are my thoughts regarding the key visual of a part 3. Part 3 is coming next year. At this point, I'm pretty sure it will come in winter. So 8 months left. Can't wait. No, I sincerely, no, because I know that I will cry hard. But okay, we have to face this. We have to face the end of this story. So I will prepare the tissues as always. Okay, guys. Sorry, I'm pretty late today. I mean, I had even the previous mistake with the previous live that it was interrupted. So sorry for that. But anyway, I think later, not immediately, but later, I will make a huge live streaming or 2 or 3 live streamings in which I will rewatch everything of this part 2. Because recently I couldn't rewatch anything with you. I will rewatch part 2 before part 3 will start, definitely, because I need to remember some things before the part 3 will start. And wow, we are reaching the end for the last time. See you next year. And I don't know if there will be a sequel in the future. It depends how it ends. And if there is an open ending, everything is possible. If there is a clear ending, bye bye Shingeki. We will rewatch it anyway, once again from episode 1, millions of times, definitely. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I have to run now because it's almost lunchtime. Oh my. Okay, see you really soon with other videos that are coming on the channel from these Sunday. Okay, tomorrow there will be no videos. On Saturday, you will find Spy Family because the Spy Family is starting. Dragon Quest is not coming this week, it's coming next week. So I will be able to go back to that story too to finish it. And from this Sunday, you will find the new adventure on the channel, Steins Gate. So feel free to follow me. Yeah, well, look, in Steins Gate, I'm I mean, I'm creating commentaries, so long commentaries per each episode. So be patient with me. Okay, see you next week. See you in this weekend. See you in the next video. Bye. See you. Bye bye.